ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So Hare Krishna, dear Prabhujis, dear devotees, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. And in our last session we read the 48th verse. Now we are reading the 49th verse, another very beautiful verse. So Lord Shri Krishna, he continues his instructions, his teachings, and he says to Arjunji, Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha kripana phalahe tabah. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha kripana phalahe tabah. दूरेण हि अवरम कर्म बुद्धि योगात् धनंजय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणा फल हेतवः. So very beautiful verse. Durena, by discarding it at a long distance. He certainly avaram, abominable. Karma, activities, buddhi yogat, on the strength of Krishna consciousness. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. Buddhau, in such consciousness. Sharanam, full surrender. Anvichha, desire. Kripana, the miser, the misers. Phalahetavaha, those desiring fruitive actions. Those desiring fruitive action. So, Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are miser. Rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So, very beautiful verse. In the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, one who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements save working in Krishna consciousness. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements save working in Krishna consciousness. As already explained, Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for the living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruit of their work just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. One should therefore never desire to be the cause of work. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Misers do not know how to utilize the assets of riches which they acquire by good fortune or by hard labor. So one should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like the misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Lord. So very very beautiful verse. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha kripana phale hetavaha. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is asking Arjunji to work without fruitive mentality or completely give up, get rid of fruitive activities. Lord Shri Krishna, he is asking Arjunji and he is asking everyone, every human being, through Arjunji, in his instruction that one should get rid of fruitive mentality, fruitive actions completely. And Lord Shri Krishna is describing fruitive actions as avaram, abominable. So, durena, by discarding it at a long distance, durena, avaram karma, fruitive actions or actions done for satisfaction of material senses and mind, actions done with fruitive mentality, such actions are avaram, abominable. He certainly, durena hi avaram, durena hi avaram karma, buddhi yogat. And Swami Srila Prabhupada is explaining that already it is explained in the previous purport. Swami Srila Prabhupada has very nicely he has explained that buddhi yoga means working for the satisfaction of Lord Shri Krishna. That is actually intelligence, that is actually buddhi yoga, karma yoga. When one does work or action without fruitive mentality for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So, durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddha sharanam buddhi yoga, on the strength of Krishna consciousness. O Arjuna, buddha sharanam anvicha, buddha sharanam. Surrender yourself to that consciousness. Buddhi is consciousness. That consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So surrender yourself. Buddha Sharanam Anvichaha. Desire to surrender yourself to that consciousness. In that consciousness, Krishna consciousness, one do not work for his own satisfaction. He work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. And that is the constitutional position of every living entity. Swami Srila Prabhupada in the purport, in the beginning only he explained, if one has understood that he is eternal servitor of Krishna, of Lord, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, then he should only work in Krishna consciousness. He should give up all other engagements except working for the satisfaction of Krishna or working in Krishna consciousness. So, Buddha Sharanam Anvichaha Kripana Falhetavaha. So, Lord Shri Krishna here he brings a very important word, Kripana or miser. And Lord Shri Krishna he is explaining that those who are working with fruitive mentality or for the satisfaction of their material mind and senses, they are miser. Those who are working, those who are engaged in sakam karma, those who do not know, or those who are not, after knowing also, those who are not working nishkam karma, those who are engaged in fruitive action, sakam karma, they are kripana. Lord Shri Krishna is describing. Kripana, miser. So Swami Srila Prabhupada has always explained miser and liberal. Kripana and Brahmana. Brahmana is said to be liberal, while a miserly person, even if he has got money, he just keep seeing it. He do not spend that money because he is a miser, Kripana. In Hindi they say kanjus. So a person who is very miser, if he has got some riches by some good fortune or by hard work, he do not spend that money. He do not use it. He do not know how to utilize it, or because he is miser, he do not want to spend that money. He just want to enjoy the possession, but he do not use it in its right way. So that is a miser person. And on the other hand, Brahmana, one who understands, one who has got real knowledge, so he knows how to utilize things properly. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada, so Lord Shri Krishna also, he is saying, Kripana phala hetavaha. O Arjuna, O Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service. By working in Krishna consciousness, by working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So rid yourself of all fruitive activities, all abominable activities, and surrender fully to that consciousness. Buddhau Sharanam Anvichaha. Surrender to Krishna consciousness, which is actually beneficial for yourself. So rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are miser. So those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work, because simply they are interested in material fruits, so they are miser. So one has got human body. Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, one should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like the misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. So after many, we do not know, this human birth is a rare opportunity. And if we do not utilize this human birth in activities of Krishna consciousness, and if we only work for sense gratification with fruitive mentality, if we only engage ourselves in fruitive actions which are actually abominable, and they are abominable because they bind one in the cycle of birth and death. All activities done on material plane or material platform have their reactions, and such actions and reactions, they bind oneself in the cycle of birth and death. So all such fruitive activities are actually abominable. So human birth is a rare chance. In one of the Vaishnava songs, a great Vaishnava philosopher, a great Vaishnava acharya, he says, Manushya janma paila Radha Krishna na bhajiya, Janiya suniya vish khainu. मनुष्य जन्मा पाइया राधा कृष्णा ना भजिया. If all this human birth is a rare birth, and like other living beings, this life is also, this human body is also temporary. But in the human form of life, the consciousness is advanced, and one can understand about soul, one can understand about super soul, one can understand about karma, kala, prakriti. One can inquire. In the human birth gives an opportunity, because the consciousness is developed, it gives an opportunity. The intelligence is developed, the consciousness is developed, and it gives everyone an opportunity to question the basic, to ask the basic questions of life. Brahma Jigyasa, who I am, what is the purpose of life, what is the aim of life, why sufferings are imposed on me when I do not want them, why I have to die, why I have to become old when I don't want, why I have to die. So Janama Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Adi Devik Adi Bhautik Adi Kalesha. So one should have, in the human form of life, the Shastra says that one should inquire. Brahma Jigyasa, Tato Brahma Jigyasa. And one should inquire about supreme transcendence. One should try to understand his eternal constitutional position. One should first question Whether I am this body, will I have an existence after death? When one will have a proper inquiry, and if one will work for finding the solutions or answers of one's inquiry, then one can move on the path of liberation. One can come out of the cycle of birth and death. And unless we work in Krishna consciousness, if we work only on the fruitive, if we work only on the material platform with fruitive mentality for the satisfaction of mind and body and the senses, then we are no better than Kripana. The Lord Shri Krishna, he is saying, those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are miser. So one who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagement. And if by good association, if by reading the scriptures, if by sadhu sangha, if by reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, if one understands that one is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, and to re-establish one's relationship, one's lost loving relationship with the Supreme Lord is the goal of life. To know one's constitutional position, to know one's constitutional duty, one's identity and one's eternal work is the goal of life, then one gives up all material engagement. That's what Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing. Gives up all engagement save working in Krishna consciousness, except working in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Krishna. Because such activities, such nishkam, such activities which are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme, leads one to the on the path of liberation, towards liberation. And as such activities are very, very auspicious. On the other hand, durena hi avaram karma, activities which bind one. So as already explained, Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for the living entity. Such devotional service is the right course of action. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruits of their work, just to be further entangled in material bondage. So those who are miser, they are very much after fruits, material fruits, or material sense gratification, material possessions. Vyavasatmaika buddhi samadhuna vidiyate bhog aishwarya prasaktanam. Lord Shri Krishna already explained in the previous verses. So for them, resolute determination for working in Krishna consciousness does not come. So all of us, in one way, we are in this material world because of our material desires, and all of us, we give so much importance to material opulence and material sense gratification. So Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, only misers. So in one sense, all of us are misers. All of us are Kripana. But Lord Shri Krishna, he is trying to explain that such fruitive activities are actually avaram, abominable, as they bind oneself. Except the work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. They continually bind one in the cycle of birth and death, and one has to accept material bodies again and again, again and again in this material world, and life after life, life after life, life after life. One has to struggle. Manashasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati, with the material senses and the material mind. So that's why accept all work, accept Krishna consciousness, all work. Swami Srila Prabhupada is in one line he is writing, all the other work are inauspicious, are abominable, and they should be given up. So those who are, one who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord, gives up all engagements except working in Krishna consciousness. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker in the cycle of birth and death. So one should therefore never desire, Swami Srila Prabhupada in the previous purports also we saw that those who desire karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostava karmani. So those who desire or those who work with fruity mentality also become the cause of action. And that's why Swami Srila Prabhupada in the previous purports also he requested, and now also he is requesting that no one should try to become the result, or no one should try to become the cause of the results of one's action. Work is only done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Supreme Lord Shri Vishnu, and that is the goal or purpose of Varnashrama institution. So work should only be done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. That is the right way of doing work or action in Krishna consciousness. And Lord Shri Krishna, he is saying, Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. So one can discard or one can get rid of fruitive activities on the strength of buddhi yoga. That is also very important. It is not easy, but on the strength. So buddhi yoga on the strength of Krishna consciousness. So to get rid of fruitive mentality or to get rid of fruitive actions, it is not easy, but on the strength of Krishna consciousness, on the strength of devotional service, on the strength of work done for the satisfaction of Krishna, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, one can get rid of all fruitive activities which are inauspicious, which are abominable. So after attained this human form of life, which is very, very valuable, which can award liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So human birth gives this opportunity to every living being, to solve completely all the problems of life. One can, by engaging oneself in Krishna consciousness, by engaging oneself in activities, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, one can engage himself in 9 items of devotional service which are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. And by engaging in these activities, one can get rid of all fruitive activities which are abominable. On the strength of these activities, on the strength of actions done in Krishna consciousness or Buddhi Yogat. So, Buddhi Yogat Dhananjaya, Buddho Sharanam Anvichaha, and one should desire to fully surrender to that consciousness. Fully surrender, Sharanam, Lord Shri Krishna is asking that one should take complete shelter of such consciousness. One should act only with that consciousness. One should act only in Krishna consciousness. Sharanam, Buddho Sharanam Anvichaha. One should desire Anvichaha, desire. So one should desire. And Lord Shri Krishna is saying, those who are Kripana, so one should not be Kripana. Why Lord Shri Krishna is those who are after sense gratification, those who are after material opulence, or those who are only interested in fruitive actions. So Lord Shri Krishna is describing them as Kripana. So one should not be Kripana. One should try to become Brahmana, Brahmajanatiti Brahmana. One should try to understand the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and one should understand that one is eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, and with this understanding one should always try to serve the Supreme Lord, one's eternal Master, and such actions done in devotional service for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord gives transcendental bliss, to one who engages in such devotional service. So one should engage in such devotional activities which are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord and utilize his valuable human birth. Human birth is a rare opportunity. Adhruvam, arthadam, though it is temporary, like other birth, like other species, human birth is also temporary, adhruvam, but it is very, very valuable, arthadam. And this human birth gives an opportunity to everyone to completely solve all the problems of life and attain a constitutional, eternal life full of bliss, happiness, achieve one's eternal life full of bliss and knowledge of devotional service. So one should spend all energies. Miser do not know how to utilize the assets of riches. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Miser do not know how to utilize the assets of riches which they acquire by good fortune or by hard labor. One should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful if one really want to make his life successful. And people really do not know, most of us in this age of Kali. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is trying through his valuable instructions, through his teachings, he is trying to explain all of us what is success of life. To get rid of the cycle of birth and death, to get back one's eternal life, that is the goal of, that is success. That is actually success in this material world, which not many of us know. So, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna himself and his pure devotee, spiritual master, Swami Srila Prabhupada, they are trying to explain all of us the goal of human life and work for getting success, real success in human life. Surrender fully to that consciousness. One should surrender himself completely to Krishna consciousness and work only in Krishna consciousness. For the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, one should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like the misers, unfortunate person do not employ their human energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. So we should not be kripana, we should not be unfortunate. We are very, very fortunate that we have received, or we have got this human form of life, and we should try to utilize it properly and make a solution to all the problems of life, and hence become really successful in life. So very, very beautiful verse, Durena hi avaram karma. Get rid of all fruitive activities. Buddhi yoga on the strength of Krishna consciousness. So Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Buddha Sharanam Anvichaha. Surrender fully to that consciousness. Buddha Sharanam Anvichaha Krimana Phalhetavaha. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are miser. So Kripanaha, one should try to become Brahmana, not Kripana, and try to solve all the problems of life by properly utilizing this human opportunity. given by the nature, given by the Supreme Lord. So, very, very beautiful verse and very beautiful purport by Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, I would like to stop here. In our next session, we'll take up the next verse, we'll read the next verse and try to understand its meaning, real meaning, bhavartha, by beautiful purport of Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, Jayam Vishnupad, Paramhans Parivrajacharya, Shrotrashat, Shri Srimati Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. All glories to His Divine Grace, Krishna Kripa Murti, Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna, all glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Holy Name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.